Hi everyone. Hope everyone's doing pretty good today. A little late, but I was a little busy. I went out and got me a laptop. Remember, I wanted to go get out of the house and do something, so I bought myself a laptop. Um, hey, I want to talk about holidays. Obviously, you're gonna probably start feeling a little bit bad towards the holiday. I wish I had made this channel a couple of months ago. We would have been talking about the holidays, like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like in New Year's. Those are times where you're really going to be like a little depressed, no doubt. Like, for instance, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, right? So, you're not going to be with your significant other, that's for sure. I know I'm not. It's going to be the first time that I, wasn't with my wife. We always went out to dinner, did something, and that's gone. But you can't forget about your kids. Remember that. If you got a daughter, take your daughter out to dinner. Get her a bouquet or something like that. Some chocolate if she likes chocolate. A card. Your mom too. Don't forget about your moms. And you gotta probably refrain from getting your significant other something too, because that's not gonna be right, especially if there were someone else. So I wouldn't recommend that. So holidays are gonna be the worst, to be honest with you. Especially when you did things together and now you're alone. That's something you're gonna have to deal with. You're gonna have to be strong, as always. These videos about being strong up here and here, because you're gonna need that. Everyone's gonna need that. I'm gonna need that, just the way it is. The longer, and like I said, the longer you go doing this over here, it's you're gonna feel better. It's all about feeling better, and the quicker the better. I mean, you have to probably go through it too, because that's the only way. That's the only way you're gonna learn from your mistakes, right? You're gonna have to learn from your mistakes. You're gonna have to learn to be a better person. If you suffer from anger management, you're gonna have to clean that up, because it's not sustainable. It's not. That's not something. It's not healthy, and it's not gonna be healthy for any of your other relationships too, as well. So, like I said, you're gonna have to probably change everything that you do in general. You want to be a better person anyway. You want to have better coping skills. That's for sure. And as you get older, like I am, it's not healthy for you. It really isn't, to be honest with you. You can't do things that you did when you were in your 20s. It doesn't work like that. Plus, as you get older, you'll have a hard time meeting people too. Not meeting people, but finding someone that you like, someone that who you want to be with, someone who has the same interests, takes care of themselves, has their own things. That's what you want too. You don't want to go out there and meet someone just to meet someone. It's about compatibility too, right? That's what it's all about. You got to be compatible, have the same interests, whether it's going to the gym, vacationing, walks, dinner, traveling. That's what you want. You want to meet somebody who has the same interests that you have. That's for sure. These holidays are going to be a little rough, I guess. Valentine's Day is the day, I guess, you spend with your significant other. It's not really a holiday, but they're doing that to probably stimulate the economy. That's what it's all about. But nonetheless, it's the day that you usually spend with your wife or your husband or your kids too. So they're going to be a little rough. You're going to probably feel a little down. The good thing that it's tomorrow, so like today, you can just go out and do something, get out of the house, do something, hang out with your friends. Tomorrow, you're going to have to probably do that too as well, to be honest with you, because tomorrow's, everybody's going to be going to the store and buying, things for their significant other, jewelry. It's going to be a time where you might see your wife or your husband with some new jewelry, and it's a high probability that someone bought it for them. So you have to be cool about that too. Remember, they're no longer yours. They were someone else. So you have to deal with that. It's gonna be rough. It's rough for me. I'm dealing with it too, but I do feel better. Every day that goes by, I do feel better, and I hope you do too, and you will. Especially if this has been going on for a while, like my separation's been going on for a while. For those of you that are going to go through it or going through it recently, it's going to be rough. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be rough, and you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to be strong, up here, over here. It's just something you're going to have to deal with. Everybody goes through this stuff. Don't think they don't. Remember, marriages are, 50-50, whether they work out or not. It's just the way it is, even with relationships too, boyfriend and girlfriend, this applies to them too. If you're involved in a relationship and you're having problems, whether you're married or not, you're going to be going through the same thing. The only difference is that you really have more obligations when you're married. You have assets, you have things. If you're married and if you're not married and you're just boyfriend and girlfriend and have those things, and you're going through a separation, or you're ready to break up or something, then you're going to have to, separate your things, obviously, especially if you co-sign for things like that. You're going to have to get your name off or something, the car, accounts, things like that, jewelry. You're going to have to just separate yourself from that person. It's just the bottom line. It's going to be hard. And like I said, if you think you're going to get back together, then you might want to wait a little bit. Only if you think you're going to get back together, but you still have to change everything that you do because it's not healthy. And right now, like I said, with these holidays coming around, tomorrow, it's not a good feeling to be single, especially when you were married, unless you want to be single. And like I said, these social media apps like Facebook, Instagram, you probably were with your loved ones last year, and they're going to be popping up, and you're going to feel, you're going to feel sad. You're going to feel sad. Like I feel sad. And me and my wife went out to dinner last year, and I'm sad about what's going on, but you have to move on. And that's just the way it is. You have to move on, because it's not going to get any better if you're just starting to go through this stuff over here. And you have birthdays too. Don't forget the birthdays too. My birthday's coming up, so I'm going to be in the Caribbean, relaxing, but if I could be back home and not go through this vacation, it'd be great. I would rather be home with my wife and kid, doing whatever it is that I'm doing over there, instead of doing anything else that I'm doing right now, to be honest with you. Even though she had someone. A lot of people say, well, why would you want to do that? After she's been with someone else. At the end of the day, I tell them, I said, listen, I was the one that drove her away. My behavior drove her away. I pushed her away. That's the reason why she did it. It doesn't matter how long it took for her to meet someone. She met someone. If I would have just done what she asked me to do, I'd still be married. It's just the bottom line. I've been with people too, but I'm still single. And right now, I am going to be single for a while. You have to understand that this is what I want to do. I'm not ready. I haven't healed yet completely. When I heal completely, then I can do what I want to do. The thing is that sometimes it takes something like this to wake people up, and you have to understand that people are they're not gonna wait around for you forever to change. They're not. They get tired of all the drama and stuff like that, and they're gonna check out, just like my wife did. She checked out. Now she's moving forward with her life without me, and that's crushing. It is. I never imagined myself not being with my wife. If you would have told me this last year, I would have been like, yeah, right. Like, no way, Jose, no way. But the things can change real quick. The flip of a switch. That's all it takes. You know, you go out and you start running your mouth, and that could be the last straw for your significant other. It could be. That's how it was for me. You know, a 10-minute rant cost me my marriage. That's why I tell you, don't, you know, the pettiness, you know, quit the pettiness. It's petty. If whatever it is, petty, whether it's your fault or not, just walk away. You know, that's the best thing you can do, just walk away. You know, and stop, you know, bitching about a lot of stuff that's petty too. That's another thing, you know, the bitching. Stop the bitching. It's not healthy at all. It's not good. You know, you're becoming too, it's not, nobody likes someone that bitches all the time, that's for sure. I mean, I sure don't. It gets old real quickly. So, you know, dealing with this holiday is, like I said, for people who were together for a while, you know, obviously this is going to be, it's going to hurt a little bit. And you know it's going to hurt, especially if you were like me on the receiving end. It's something I'm going to have to deal with forever, I guess, you know, for every year until I meet someone, you know, then I can start a new life with someone else. You know, I'm not thinking about that right now. I know eventually it's going to happen, but that's not what I'm thinking about. I would still prefer to be with my wife. Because I love her. You know, you're still going to love your significant other. You really are. You know, you just don't fall out of love like that. Just like my wife, she told me months ago that she didn't love me anymore, and that was like heartbreaking. But I don't know if she said it out of anger or to just have me push back more, because I was really, you know, getting in touch with her a lot, and she didn't want that. So maybe she had to say that. I'm pretty sure she probably didn't mean it to hurt my feelings, but I mean, she said it and it was heartbreaking, you know, and maybe she did feel like that. Maybe she felt like that. You know, I don't know. I just know that I find it hard to believe that your significant other, who you were with for years, you know, all of a sudden tells you, doesn't think about you. I'm sure they think about you. I am sure they think about you. They might not tell you, but I'm sure they do, because, you know, they're going to be at the house alone or with their kids, your kids. And, you know, and they're going to have pop-ups too on Facebook, and I'm sure they're going to have memories and all that stuff that pops up, and they're going to be like, you know, upset, a little bit of depressed. But, you know, they made up their mind anyway, but it's still going to happen. I'm sure they think about you, so don't think that they don't. I'm pretty sure they do. So I don't want you to think like that, because it's going to hurt you, okay? Just know that they are thinking about you. But, you know, they decide to move on. That's something you're going to have to deal with, like I am. So my advice to you would be to just, when it comes to the holiday, just take it easy. You know, just stay focused on what you need to do. For those of you that are not going to get back together, just focus on what you need to do. That's all you need to do, man. You got to heal, you know. And the faster you heal, the better it's going to be. And it's just the bottom line. And that's what you need to do right now, because you know, warm weather's coming soon too, and everybody's going to be out more. Nobody's going to be stuck in the house, but not even you. And that's what you want. But you also got to remember, they're going to be going out more often too, and that's something you're going to have to. And you might even run into them. You know, if you run into your significant other, you're still not divorced. That's going to hurt a little bit too, and you might be inclined to say something to them, and I would suggest not to, you know, unless they say something first to you. And you might even see them with their boyfriend or girlfriend. And that's going to be the worst part. I would probably just walk away, you know, go in another direction. Because, nobody wants to see them holding hands or being together, because it's going to hurt. Because, you know, that should have been you. It should be you there. But it's not. So you have to be aware that you're going to run into them when the weather gets better. And you have to learn to control your emotions. That's what you need to do. Control your emotions, your coping skills. Because it's just going to hold you back a little bit. It really is. Especially, like I said, weekends and at night. You know, you remember all the stuff you used to do with your wife or your husband, like during the weekends, you know, going out a lot, dancing, whatever. She's probably going to be doing that too with someone else. And that's the hard part. You're going to have to deal with that stuff because she moved on. I mean, it's going to hurt like hell. Don't get me wrong. It's going to hurt like hell, but that's something you can't control at all. Don't bother them. Don't bother her or him, because it's a high probability they've seen you there too. Will see you there, and it's going to be an awkward moment. I guarantee you that. It's going to be very awkward. And you're going to fall back a little bit, and you're going to get sad, and I mean, you might even cry a little bit. And it's all normal. It's fine to cry, even if you're a man. And any man that says they don't cry, they're full of it. Everybody cries. If you have feelings, you cry. It's just the way it is. But what I wanted to say was, just like I said again, the holiday is going to be tough. So you're going to have to find something, get out of the house, find something to do. Especially, it's going to be a weekend, so you can go out, hang out with your friends, do something. Just have a good time. You want to have a good time. You want to give your heart and your mind peace. Some peace there. That's why I recommend just hanging out with your friends and stuff like that for the weekend. And when you come home late. Don't start drinking and get hammered, because you still got to come home, and you might fall into this depression over here that it's going to linger. It's going to linger, and then you're going to find yourself, it's going to be a setback. It really is going to be a setback, and that's not what you want. This is all about recovery over here. Okay, this is all about recovery, and that's what you want to do. You want to recover, and you want to do what you got to do as quickly as you can. Heal as quickly as you can. Because once you start feeling better and it's not bothering you as much, you're going to be so happy, and you're going to look back and say, man, that was a rough year. That was rough. I don't want to go through that again, ever. And there's a possibility that you still might go through it again, when you meet somebody else. It's life. It's just the way it is. You got to have to, just suck it up. But you're going to look back, and you're going to feel so much better. You think about some of the past relationships you had, and maybe you were in love with that person, and you guys broke up, and you were sad for a while, and then after a while, you felt better. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a little different because this person was, you were married to them, and when you're married, it's a little different, and especially if you have kids with that person. But you have to deal with it as quickly as you can, and try to get over it as quickly as you can. For those of you who are just starting to deal with this stuff, it's going to be a little harder. It's going to take you a little bit longer, but you're going to have to, just stay the course. Like I said, this is why I'm making this video here. I'm making this video here so you can prepare yourself for what's about to come. You're going to have some really dark times. You really are. So I would surround yourself with some people that have positive energy, good influence on you, your family, your friends. You want to surround yourself with people like that. Go out somewhere where there's people, meet new people. You can meet new friends. You might go back to doing what you used to do before. Like I said, a hobby you used to enjoy doing. That's what you want to do, or have a new hobby. Just play. Learn to play an instrument. That's healthy too. Learn to play an instrument and maybe do some karaoke or something like that. But find something to do. Find something new to do if you have to do it. Something you've never done before. Like if you never went hiking before, go on a hike. Go on a hike trail. Go hiking with some friends or something like that. If you're not a person that travels, go travel. You're gonna enjoy it. Trust me, it's gonna make you feel good, and you might not think about what's going on. And that's great. That's what you want. You want to do that. So listen, I am going to let you guys know right now. I'm going to go right now, but subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification. Give me a thumbs up. Remember, the holiday is going to be tough, man, but enjoy it with friends who are going to be there for you. Go out and do something. If you're in the house, you start feeling sad, just get out of the house and go to the gym. you know, and stay away from the drugs and stay away from the alcohol if it's going to make you depressed, okay? Because you don't need that right now. Because tomorrow's another day, and then the day after that, it's, like I said, the longer this goes, the better you're gonna start feeling, and that's what it's all about. Staying the course. You gotta keep this intact here and here, and you gotta preserve it. It's like I said, it's gonna hurt, but you're gonna have to, stay healthy. Really, you're really gonna have to like persevere because. For people who've never been through it before, it's brutal. Love is a funny thing. It is. It's brutal. So listen, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna do a couple shorts tonight, and please watch and take care of yourself. Keep this straight here and here. Protect yourself. Love yourself, and I'll talk to you guys tonight. All right. Peace.